If you clicked on this video, chances are that you are tired of spending hours reading your textbooks and just want to learn the secrets to cutting your reading time in half. Now, it's no secret that reading textbooks is really boring, but I see so many students making the same mistakes that drastically increase their reading time, and I don't want that for you. So I've literally spent the last few years of my life testing out different techniques to figure out the best ones. And if you can implement the tips I'm about to mention, I can guarantee you'll be absorbing knowledge like a sponge and zipping through your textbooks at light speed. The first tip you need to implement is priming yourself for the information. Now, you need to stop reading your textbooks like you would a work of fiction, because the reality is your textbook isn't going to be like Harry Potter or the Hunger Games. There's no plot twists and no spoilers to worry about. The job of a textbook is to give you cold, hard information, so you need to start treating it as such. Now, priming is the process of mentally exposing yourself to the key topics throughout the chapter. And as you skim through the chapter, internalize in the back of your mind the length of the chapter and the different topics that it covers. Read the summary on the back, the chapter headings, and the key definitions that you'll see on the side margins. While this process should only take you about 5 to 10 minutes, I want you to do this because our brains are hardwired to desire predictability. So if you make sections in your notes about the key things that will come up throughout the chapter, your brain will subconsciously remember the information better and make connections between the different things that you're reading. Now, the second tip that I'm going to share with you is to get rid of your internal monologue. Now, many of us don't even realize that we do this, but it's a simple fact that most people have a bad habit of reading text at the same speed that they normally speak at. Now, this slows down our textbook reading a ton because the reality is we can actually read textbooks a lot faster than we can speak. For example, try reading this text right now. Now, hopefully you were able to find that you were very easily able to understand the text. You'd be surprised to learn that the speed you just read at was around 450 words per minute, and the average person only reads at around 200 to 300 words per minute. So if you want to try reading your textbooks faster, you can try copying and pasting your text into Spreeder, which is the app I just showed you. Or if your textbook is on paper, there are a couple other methods that you can use. One technique is to chunk your words together, where you read words 2 at a time. Or try reading in between the words, which sounds really weird, but it actually uses your peripheral vision to absorb the text much faster. Either way, both of these methods will allow you to read more words in less time. The third tip to read your textbooks faster is to trace out your sentences. Now, this may sound a little odd, but a technique that's really useful to help you read faster is by using your finger or a pencil to trace out the sentences as you read them. You may not notice it, but our eyes tend to be very jumpy, so it's really difficult to move our eyes smoothly from one word to another. This is why you might find yourself rereading the passages over and over again or losing your place in the text. But notice that if I ask you to focus on my finger as I move it across the screen, your eyes will be able to focus on it very smoothly. So when you're reading from the textbook, use your finger or a pen to help you trace through the sentences throughout the textbook. By moving your finger at a faster pace, you can even help to reduce your inner monologue. And if you couple this with reading in between the words, you'll find that your ability to speed read will increase exponentially. Now, the fourth tip pertains to how to take more effective notes, because reviewing the textbook is just as important as reading through it. And the tip is to read first and take notes later. Now, a huge time waster that so many students make is that they'll read one sentence and then they'll take notes on it, and they'll do this process repeatedly. Now, obviously this wastes a ton of time, and the information that you're writing down may not even be important to the test. Now, the secret to taking better notes is by grouping the ideas by sections and then explaining the text back in your own words. Now, most textbooks will naturally have the ideas separated into paragraphs. So the strategy that you should use is reading a paragraph and then consolidating all of the important information and then writing down the key topics onto your notes. And see if you can write out the information in just 2 to 3 sentences, because this will force your mind to critically consider which information is actually the most important. Or you can use one of my favorite methods and make Quizlet flashcards about the important topics in a textbook that you can review later. This is a method called active recall, where you'll be able to actively review the information at a later time and retain it in your mind much better. Now, the last tip that I'm going to share with you is to make textbook reading fun. Now, I know this sounds like a tall order, but if we can try to make our textbook reading more enjoyable, then it will become way less grueling and it will become a much more enjoyable experience. Now, an easy way to do this is by playing music in the background as you read the textbook, like lo-fi beats or classical music. But one of my favorite methods is to just explain the concepts on the paper as if I were talking to a friend in a super casual way. This will make your relationship with the text way more enjoyable, and it will help to make it less like a boring block of information that you don't want to read, and instead view it as a block of text that you can then share with others, and make the world more knowledgeable. Also, be sure to set rewards for yourself at the end of your textbook reading session. This will make the entire experience way more enjoyable, and at the very end, you'll have something to look forward to. Now, I hope that you guys got a lot of value from this video and will take the time to implement these tips into your life and become a super fast textbook reader. If you did, be sure to hit that subscribe button and let me know if there's any other topics that you'd like me to cover. But thank you so much for watching. Go out and read your textbooks at light speed, and I'll see you in the next one.